open the meeting at 6 o'clock, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So at this time, we need a motion to approve the agenda, but Dave told me item 10, we have to add the resolution after item 10.
Yes.
Did he tell you that too, Kendra?
Yeah.
So does that mean we have to vote on that at
Yes,
that
well,
time?
sorry, I'm just trying to find the wording for it. Yes, it just is approving resolution 2025-01. And I can read the resolution when it gets there.
Okay. No, and number 11, we can't do A or B, but we will still listen to them.
Okay.
So is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Executive session, anybody gonna be an alderman that's in this group? Nope. So that one will go on to the next one. I don't know if you two know, but Dave had and Lisa had a family emergency tonight. So they cannot. So we're going to do the best we can. Okay, number 5, we need a motion to approve the meeting minutes of Tuesday, January 7th.
I'll make the motion to approve meeting minutes of Tuesday, January 7th, 2025.
There's been a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Public input, I don't think, anybody have any?
No.
No. Legal updates. As of now, I think I'll bring Sam on if he'll answer here in a little bit, and then he can update it if there's anything else. Does that sound okay to everybody?
Sure.
Okay, at this time, then we need a motion to approve paying Banner invoice 44209 in the amount of $12,145.67.
I'll make a motion to approve paying Banner invoice number 44209, the amount of $12,145.67.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, then we need to go on to number 9, the sewer collection system improvements. Approved paying Banner invoice 44211 in the amount of $399.20.
I'll make a motion to approve paying Banner invoice number 44211 in the amount of $399.20. Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. At this time, we will go into a well, wait, we have to wait till 6:15. So let's just go, like, how long will yours take? 10 minutes? Yeah, because I think yours has to be when we do the hearing. if I understood it right. So would you want to go ahead about the pool?
I can.
Sure. We'll move ahead and then come back to the red mitt. Sure.
Thank you.
Maybe Dave, put one right there. Or does he have one already?
He's got one.
It's my
I think you're gonna give
Oh,
one
right here.
from the newspaper.
There you go.
Oh, for Lisa, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, I had met yesterday with Dave regarding the renovation for the swimming pool. So we had been on site probably 2 weeks ago and assessed what needs to be done at this time. Inside this pamphlet that I made for you is, I work for CNR Pools, I've been there about 26 years now, a list of our references. We had, there was a proposed RFP regarding things that needed to be done on the pool. He had asked for our references, and the right-hand side of the pamphlet is a list of all of the references. And then the second on the right-hand side is the scope of work that needs to be done for the swimming pool to get it operational before the proposed deadline of June 1st. We feel that it's going to take longer than that, so we would like to start sooner. There's quite a bit of work that needs to be done. Even some of the existing work that was completed on the pool has to be redone. So we have a scope of work on the first page of our proposed pricing that we have for it. Right now, for the renovations that need to be done, we're at $197,200. All of the plumbing that was replaced by a different company that is underground going around the pool does need to be tore up and taken out. It is not to code, it does not meet South Dakota design recommendations currently. There's some things in the pool that we can't see for cracks because there's so much water and ice in the deep end of the pool. But what we would come in and do is basically sandblast everything, all the glue that was left on there from the previous liner. And I go to a variety of different municipal pools, and Dave wanted me to stress this. You guys got a great pool. It just needs a renovation to be operational. We were estimating the pool was about 40 years old. He said it's 62.
Yeah, it's older than that, yeah.
So, on the southwest corner, there is a wall that is bowed out slightly. However, you can tell from the pool how it is now that the skimmers have been replaced probably 3 times there. The skimmers that are installed there are installed incorrectly. The wrong glue was used. Anytime you're plumbing 4 inches or bigger, you need to use heavy duty glue, and that wasn't used. So we have to take the skimmers out, we have to do all the plumbing and change it from 4 inch to 6 inch. We need to run plumbing going back to the equipment room. The last time we were here to evaluate the pool was in 1999. The same filter plant is in there, meaning that's the sand filtration system. They stopped making them in 1983, and that's fine. That's okay. We're just, as long as they're working. Lonnie had said that everything was working the last time it was used. The pump is undersized. It will be more beneficial to you to get a new pump in there with the new plumbing that is going in there. I've kind of just outlined, we're going to add an automatic leveler. We're going to redo the plumbing going around the pool, sandblast it, paint it, and then we're going to put handholds going around the whole deck. So when you're in the pool, you actually have something to grab onto where it comes out at a curve, and all of that would be redone. The main drains are going to be jackhammered out in the pool. They do not meet the Virginia Graham Bear Act or depth between them. You actually have two different size main drains in the floor of the pool. In the waiter, we will not work on that unless we fix those main drains. They're too close together, somebody can get hurt, how they are functioning right now. We do municipal pools, we do commercial pools, and we do residential, and there's certain things that we need to do in the pool just to make it function, so you guys can open. June 1st is the whole goal. Typically, when we look at pools, this type of renovation, we would be assessing it in the fall, doing as much work as we can over the winter time, and so you would be open probably mid-May, about the time kids are getting out of school. With the scope of work that has to be done, we would need to start very soon in order to do that. Outlined in here is what we plan to do on the scope of work. If you look on the second page, those are optional items that we're suggesting that are completed. One of those options is upgrading the pump to a 7.5 horsepower, so it's easier. You actually use less chemicals because the turnover ratio is better on the water that's in it. Supply new plumbing to the inside, get that up to a code. Concrete steps on the left-hand side. There is a project that we did at the Sanford Wellness Center this summer that has actual steps going into the pool. So it doesn't eliminate the ADA lift that you have, and from what I understand, it's non-functioning right now.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked in some time. So I just put a price. You may just need a battery on it. So that's something very minor. Separate filter plant for the waiter. That, when I was talking to Dave, that is more something that, I know you guys have a proposal and a plan for your parks department. I'm just telling you, your pool just needs a mechanical, plumbing, and facelift. There's ways to add on to that pool that would be less costly. When you look at caving in the walls of the pool, something proposed to do something like that, it's $4-7 million. So what you have is actually structurally sound where it is, even given the age of it. It just needs new plumbing, new depth that's on it. Upgrading the automatic chemical feeders. They were operational. I don't know what they are anymore. And Lonnie didn't know quite for sure if they are. So when we start that pool up, that may be something that needs to be taken care of. And then there is the SR Smith multi-lift, just a pricing so you're aware of how much it could cost if it actually needs to be replaced. Like I said, it may be the cable, it just may be the battery. He didn't know actually what it was. On the third page is our scope of work. This is itemized out of how we are going to approach the pool and everything that we're going to do in stages. So a lot of this that is outlined, that is in there, I know that going around the waiter, the concrete wasn't removed from there yet. This is included in there, and it's included pouring the whole new deck as well. So our price includes all of the plumbing, plastering the pool. They had asked for different options between either painting it, so we would sandblast all that glue that's on the pool from the existing liner. There's crack repair that needs to be done. There's actually no expansion joints in the pool, which is kind of different. However, nothing is moving, so there's the rule of thumb, don't mess with something that structurally sounds like that. So we're just gonna leave it that way, but we're gonna fill all those cracks. There are some extensive cracks in the wader right now. They all need to be saw cut out. That needs to be sandblasted. There's some rebar that's on the top of the pool that wasn't removed. We're gonna need to core drill every one out. There's about 67 in there right now, and fill those, and we're going to actually make the pool, set the skimmers, they need to be 3 inches lower than they are right now. They're too high, they're not set right. There was an oversaw cut on one of them, and that's kind of where the wall is bowing. We're gonna try and fix that the best we can. And then we're gonna put a plaster finish on it. This is gonna buy you, what we're proposing, 10 years. This is gonna buy you guys 10 years so you can save money for if you wanna do a renovation in your long-term plan for your parks. So the back page of this is, so we have just a plan of how we're gonna go about this. What we're gonna add to it, there's a few safety things between the wader and the main pool. So there's, for winterizing, there's pipes sticking up through the deck. We're gonna bury those in the ground and put boxes, so your maintenance guys have ease of access of getting at them. We're gonna add a water leveler to the pool. So you're gonna have your existing, or they're not plumbed yet, your existing equalizers. And what they do is balance out the pool. So they balance out the water that's in the pool, but we're also gonna add a water leveler, and we're gonna plumb that all the way back to your equipment room. So it's constantly gonna be adding water to the pool, so your maintenance guys don't need to come back and check on it on a regular basis, because an average pool leaks in a week's time, a half an inch of water once a week. And that's just from evaporation. There's no heater on the pool, so you get you're a little slightly less than that. So we're just gonna add a water leveler to the pool as well. As far as like the handicap lift, there's an anchor that needs to go in. There's anchors for all the existing ladders that are in the pool. Right now, those need to be bonded and put back into the pool. So we're gonna do that as well. There was in the RFP, like electrical, replacing the electrical panel. We're not licensed electricians. I had highly suggested somebody from the community get pricing on that for replacing that existing electrical panel. All of the bonding that has to be done around the pool, we can walk the electrician through what needs to be done. And then there was also lighting. So the exterior lighting that goes around the pool, that is not included in our bid. So there are things that we didn't include that are in that RFP just because of the scope of the work that needs to be done. We're gonna fix the fence. We're probably gonna have to take the whole fence out. It's just easier to pour concrete that way. We are a company that, for a municipality, we do, on your third sheet that's on the right-hand side, is an example of our payment schedule. So we do progress billing. We don't take deposits down on what you're doing. We are paying for the materials up front. And we've been on site for a month. We're gonna give you progress billing. And there's also a retainage of that you retain 10% of that. So if we bill you $100,000, 10% of that you guys are gonna keep until we're done. And then it just is progress billing. So as a company, we pay for all the upfront costs of materials that need to be in, the labor costs, the sales, all of that is paid for by us. I know there was some problems in the past. We've been doing this for a long time. We have references dating back to 1976. This reference packet, I haven't updated in 8 years. We're a company that's been around for a long time. We don't do we just, I don't know what else to tell you other than we have an established staff with 146 years of experience. And we have a lot of guys and they're willing to work when it's this cold outside. Now, they're not gonna work the temperature that it was on Monday and Tuesday, but we would like to get started as soon as possible because we're running out of time if we wanna meet your deadline. In our scope of work, that's more detailed of how long this is gonna take us to do. We need, I can't stress that enough to you. I know when I had talked to Dave, your city attorney had said something about like putting requirements on us regarding like penalties if we're late. We're gonna do the best we can. This is not really typical to be starting a project like this, but there's a lot of things that we can do right now. Sandblasting, core drilling all those holes out, saw cutting, a lot of this stuff could be done now. And if we have to build an enclosure around the Raider, we're gonna do that. That's all kind of built into our cost. So I gave you guys quite a bit of information in a short amount of time. I mean, I could go through all of this scope of work. I could go through all of the like timeframes and stuff. Or, I mean, it's up to you what you want me to do.
Yeah. Can you wait just a few minutes? And then, what Dave talked to me before and said the lawyer called and said, we can't vote on it tonight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because of the timetable of municipal.
Yeah.
So my question to you before we go to, we have to go do this one at 6, we're a little late now. But
Sorry.
this could push it into February.
Mm-hmm.
Would you still possibly be able to do it? He said he knows you're booked.
Yep, so we are booked until October.
Right.
And that work starts,
So,
depends on the weather. It all depends on the weather. We live in South Dakota, so we are weather dependent. I did speak with the owner of MCNR, and we will probably be rescinding this bid if we don't hear anything by February 8th. Just
Okay.
because of everything that we have going on. We do not overcommit. If we say we're gonna be there on a day, we're going to be there. That's the type of company, we're not going to give you unrealistic expectations and say, hey, we're gonna start on March 1st and we're gonna get everything done. With what we've evaluated, we were there 2.5 hours outside, inside the filter plant, looking at everything. We dug up the plumbing that was in the skimmers. I mean, we just did one. And
so
we found it's a little
you've
frozen.
worked in this pool before, in the past then?
Yes,
The way it
we-
sounded?
Yep, the last time we were there, I have Polaroid pictures, because that was in 1999, of us evaluating the pool and how it was. And that was kind of before the liner was put in.
Okay.
They were looking for more like, the diving board that was there. I actually sold that to you guys
Okay.
through Patricia. It was
Yeah.
Patricia when she was
Yeah.
here. So like the diving board and that kind of stuff, and your guys have came and gotten parts from us.
Okay,
So, I mean, we have a construction department, we have a retail operation. We've been at this location 32 years now. We're on the corner of I-229 and Benson Road.
okay.
People think it's weird, we don't advertise, we don't need to.
You don't need
We are strictly word of mouth. We do have a Facebook page, that's the only advertising we do. But we just don't, we're strictly word of mouth.
So where we're at is, we have to converse with the lawyer because there's municipal rules. So if we could tell him, what'd you say, February
February.
8th? We'd have to know something by that. But is that okay?
Yeah.
We'll try to do something maybe,
No, and that's
But-
fine. It's kind of, you know, it's hard for me, to, you know, looking at the RFP to say that we can after we were there, that we could get all this work.
Well,
Especially, I mean, we
realize
dug up
that.
that hole and we're like, no, I mean.
You don't
ground's gonna
know,
be
there's a lot of
frozen soon.
unknown, yeah.
I mean,
So,
it's somewhat frozen now, but it's, I mean, it's gonna be frozen and we
But you
can't
do think life expectancy would be much, is
With a
possible?
plaster finish on it, you're probably looking at about 10 years. If we painted it, which we could do, that would probably cut the cost, maybe $25,000 to $30,000 down.
But you have to do it more often,
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it probably every 2 to 3 years.
yeah.
And that, but that's also, your maintenance guys can do that. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't need to hire us to paint. It's a 2-part epoxy. And we've had municipal pools that the
I used to
lifeguards-
work there, I painted it,
The
so,
lifeguard, it's, you know, it's not fun.
no, it's not fun, but it is possible.
It's not fun, but, you know, I mean, we want to make sure that you're aware. We're giving you a realistic expectation
Yes.
that June 1st, we could try.
Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna try.
well, last year we tried till August 1st, so.
No, you know, but that's the, I mean, realistically, I mean, that's why there is a clause in that RFP that I did catch that said we could start earlier than that May 1st. So it was in a subsection and your attorney put that in there. So that's why we want to answer any questions you have. Number one, you guys can call us, you can
Yeah.
email me.
That's probably what we'll do.
And we want to answer any questions, that's why I don't want to talk to you like when this was due, because we won't have enough time. Because planning takes time
Oh,
and
yeah.
getting everybody organized. So, what questions do you have for me? If you have any really.
I don't think anything right now, we just have to make sure that we're following municipal rules to get everything done, so that we can answer you in a timely manner.
Yeah, and that's kind of the main thing, but I mean, that's why we wanted to give you everything that we have.
Yeah.
So
We
you can look
appreciate that.
through it, you can see what the scope of work is.
And we can look at it a little
Mhm.
bit.
Yeah, because I can't give you this packet and say, oh, hey, I'm gonna go through everything on here that we're gonna do.
No,
Okay.
but we will be in touch, or
Okay.
Dave will.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
all right, we appreciate it
yeah,
very
thank
much.
you.
Okay, we'll go back to the public hearing for the Elsister Housing Development Project Utility Expansion. So do we have to go into something separate, or we're okay? I don't
Do we
think
have
we
to
do.
go into a public hearing? No. No.
We just have you present and we should be okay. Right.
So with Dave and then CCOG and Banner, we were gonna submit an application to USDA, US Department of Ag, through the Rural Development Water and Sewer Program. There's not really a specific deadline, but we're trying to hit February. And then we're working with the Alcester Industrial Park as well for that housing development. And then the application to request the funds, Alcester is eligible for up to 45% grant. So what we're trying to do is potentially get 1.4 million in grant dollars. And then they also have like a loan side of things too. But the plan, and I can't guarantee it, but the plan is to go forward with the full project cost, and then whatever the funding package is, just take on the grant and not take on the loan. But if there was only loan to that, the annual payments would be about $77,000 a year. And then, like sewer and utility rates would have to go up $18, but that's $9 for water, $9 for sewer, so it's like half. But if there's grant, there won't be any effect towards that. So I think when we were working with the engineer, the total project cost is about 3.2 million of that. And then what, Alcester Industrial Park is gonna do is we're gonna help them apply for South Dakota housing funding. It's through the Housing Infrastructure Financing Program, which is basically a low interest loan, so it's not on the city, it would be on the industrial park to, repay on that loan, which is at 2.5%. And then, yeah, hopefully, if we get the grant funding, that would be good. And then the Alcester Industrial Park is gonna, provide a local match as well, so they have a cash match as well. So that's basically what we're doing, is just submitting to see what the funding package looks like, and then, if it ends up being in our favor, you know, you guys can approve that if you want to, and nothing right here is like set in stone that you are approving a loan or a grant, you're just approving to submit the applications.
Do you want me to read the resolution?
Yeah, why don't, yeah, go ahead.
So the resolution that would be put in place that we would authorize is Resolution 2025-01. It's a resolution authorizing an application for financial assistance, authorizing the execution and submittal of the application, and designating authorized representatives to certify and sign payment request. Whereas the city of Alcester has determined it is necessary to proceed with the construction of the Alcester Residential Development Project, and whereas the city has determined that financial assistance will be necessary to undertake the project, and an application for financial assistance to the U.S. Department of Agriculture will be prepared. Whereas it is necessary to designate an authorized representative to execute and submit the application on behalf of the city, and to certify and sign payment requests in the event financial assistance is awarded for the project. Now therefore be it resolved by the city as it follows. The city hereby approves the submission of an application for financial assistance in the amount to not exceed $1,482,000 to the board for the project. The mayor and the council president are hereby authorized to execute the application and submit it to the board, and to execute and deliver such other documents and perform all acts necessary to effectuate the application for financial assistance. The mayor and the council president are hereby designated as authorized representatives of the city to do all things on its behalf to certify and sign payment requests in the event financial assistance is awarded for the project.
So do we need to vote on this tonight?
Yes.
Is that how you understood it? Okay.
So 10A would be to approve resolution 2025-01. And I will make a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to do resolution 2025-01. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion has carried. Thank you.
I did have a question though. Is that for the phase 1 or is that for the whole scope of the project?
Phase 1 and 2.
Just phase 1 and 2?
1 and 2. I did have a comment about goal. Are you guys wanting to start that project this year?
Yeah.
Or is that over next year?
No, we were hoping to do it this year.
Hoping to do it this year. Okay. So I was gonna say Game Fish and Parks does a land water conservation fund, and it's a grant program for parks, park improvements. It's a 50-50 match, so, but
Can
when
you
you
apply
add that,
after?
it has to be before, project construction starts.
Fair enough. Thank you.
You're welcome, but I think I'm working with Dave on that for the rest of the park. of the
Oh,
improvements.
okay. All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Up till now, everybody okay with everything?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll just go on to just some updates. We have met with, Kendra and I did meet with the Clubhouse Grill. And as of February 1st, we're going to keep it open from 11 until either 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. They can go down to a couple staff during that time, But we feel
With a
Like-
limited menu.
with limited menu between 2 and 5. Encourage them to be a little more creative and think of some events. The one thing, and I've had people asking me, and maybe we will call Sam yet tonight, was people have asked to do walking in the community center. We just need to get it approved through legally. Are we okay to do that? We might have to have a waiver that they have to sign to walk, that if they broke their hip, that we're not liable. We should be okay, especially if we do it within hours of operation. Not anything outside the hours if we're not there. We also discussed, we do not want them to close early. We want them to stay their hours. And was there anything else, Kendra?
No, we did just kind of brainstorm like why people might think it was closing early. One day that they actually weren't closed early. And because it is dark outside now, we did realize driving into town from the north, you can see all the bar lights on that side, but then when you look at the front of the building, there's no lights on. Because there are no lights, there's no open windows, so we did just recommend leaving the event center light on.
And they
one of the
have
lights
been.
in there, so that if you do look at it from the front, you do see lights on in there to see that it is open, besides just the open sign, which from the road is really small, so it could be easily overlooked, and they have been doing that, so hopefully that helps people recognize that it's open as well. Other than that, I think that was it.
Yeah, for now, we're taking baby steps.
Yes.
I mean, people would like Sundays and Mondays, but let's do this first and see through the winter, and then we'll move on. So, just so you guys, you are updated on that. Sound okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Water meter upgrade project. Well, Dave is not here, but Christie, what did you say is left?
We just, 338 are completed. So we have 10 or 11 scheduled for tomorrow, and then kind of we're to the point where we either don't have phone numbers, so we can't call and give them reminders, or we've scheduled them 3 or 4 times and sent them letters, and they just don't respond, or they're not home, or I'd say we have probably about close to 20 of those. And then we have probably a handful of residents that have 1-inch meters, so they need to be different settings or something. And then there's a couple where the actual, you can't get to the meter, or the basement wall is starting to bow, and it's dangerous for them to go do it. So Dave and I have been looking and discussing on ways to go around, figure that out too. So I'd say residential wise, we have under 30 left.
Great, that's great. So, and once they get through this month and all the wiggles out of the water bills, because there's been some issues, so hopefully next month it will all go better.
Yes. People are very understanding though, so.
Yeah. Anytime you do something new, there's gonna be some
Yeah.
issues. Okay, we will go on to number 14. Kendra?
Yes, so I have been talking to Dave about the annual employee reviews and wage increases. So currently our wages are based on cost of living and just overall raises. We evaluate each budget or fiscal year, what percentage we are going to provide as, an approved amount that can fit within our budget. It's been anywhere from 2 to, I think last year was 6%, if I remember correct. So it just varies based on year, but it is across the board. Have been some exclusions in the time that I've been doing it based on if somebody has received like a larger wage increase or we change positions and whatnot. But typically it's across the board. Nothing needs to be done now because obviously we've already started this, but I wanted to put it in your guys' ear and kind of see where we might want to go going forward for it. I personally think that we should change how we do our wage increases based on reviews and merit of the employee, and just increase it. So far, we've only ever reviewed full-time staff. And that's just how it's been written into our employee handbook, that we do reviews on full-time staff, but there isn't anything based on their review that they get an increase or anything like that. It still goes back to just across the board increases. So at some point, I would like to maybe discuss more in depth. We can do it on the budget committee, or if you guys have any opinions, to just let me know. But I would like to see if we should do reviews, even at like a lower standard of review for all part-time employees too, just so we know how we're doing and we have paper documentation that, like, if there's an issue coming up, that we actually document it in a review. So we just have proof of that, and if it continues to happen because we've had issues with employees in the past, that it's been discussed with them several times, but we have nothing written down or anything, it's just been word of mouth. And so I think if we have that and can keep it in their employee files, then we'll, just have a paper trail, and then if we go to a merit-based wage increase, then we also have that to go off of as well. Because I think we do have a lot of part-time employees through the restaurant in waitresses and groundskeepers and things like that, and they are required employees. We need them, and we need them to do a good job, but we don't have any way to determine how they're doing. And so I think it's something we should do. I understand that it would take more time, and as a council, we might have to take on some of that responsibility within our committees to help with those, because doing, all the waitresses, it would take a little bit of time. And for Lonnie, who's already really busy to do all the groundskeepers as well, would add a lot of responsibility. And I don't want to add more responsibility to anybody's plate per se, but I do think to just keep our standards and how we interact with our employees would be beneficial. But I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or opinions on that.
So the council would do everybody then?
Not necessarily, we don't have to.
The managers could do?
They could, like if Lonnie saw one of the groundskeepers and just wanted to chat with them for 5 minutes and just, like the review we do now is like, what, 2 pages long?
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be anything like that. It could just be a few things, check in on how they're doing, and a spot for notes so that we can write any comments that we might have made with them, or anything that they need to improve on, or something really good they did that, during that year, just so we have that. And it would just be once a year so that we have it and know how they're doing and kind of what that looks like for them. And if it would have to be changed in our employee handbook, so it would have to be a decision we actually make and go forward with. And if there were, like, if we didn't want to do the lifeguards or something, since there's such a short time frame, we wouldn't have to do that. We could exclude them from that within the handbook. So that responsibility wouldn't be added.
Or maybe you could just do it to the manager.
Yeah, and just so they have an idea. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that could be done with it. I just think we've had a lot of issues before of people getting upset about their pay rate and their pay rate not increasing, and like newer staff having the same pay rate as them or even more sometimes based on how our wages increase and whatnot. And I think it would eliminate a lot of that, because we could increase their pay based on their merit and how they're doing. And we wouldn't have to increase the pay rate or the hiring rate every year then.
Right.
And we could do that and still do a cost of living increase across the board, and it could be at a lower rate.
Any questions for everybody?
Some guy just needs to think about.
It's a lot to think about, sorry.
Okay, we will go on to item 15. In your packet is a list of, they've been going through lots of stuff, old stuff, to look at that we could dispose of. So it's in your packet, the last. There's some old stuff.
It's been in here.
Yeah, she says there's stuff you don't even know why we have it. So just looking over that, we'll just need a motion to approve January 25 records destruction list.
I'll make the motion to approve January 2025 records destruction list. Just get rid of it.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any other questions from anybody? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. You can shred. Is that what that is all over
On
there?
that freezer there, that's done.
We'll just go on to the reminders. All pet registrations are due by January 31st. The next council meeting will be Tuesday, February 4th. So we can hopefully find out everything for you by then. The municipal election date is Tuesday, April 8th. Polls will be open 7 to 7. And we also, I think, go with the school if they have an election on the same day. And then we've gotten things going for the Big City Park fundraiser. Friday, April 3rd, which will be dueling pianos at the community center. It's got some good potential. They'll probably, what they discussed the other night is possibly selling tables. The meal would be included in that. And it has potential of being a very good fundraiser, so we really want to push that out. We're gonna advertise in all communities close to here. It will start, I think they were talking about happy hour it's a Friday night, about 5 o'clock, eating supper, 6:37, and then the program would be after that. We'll have to come up with different ways. They're hoping, some companies will buy a table, and then it's up to them who they want to be at the table. But asking so much, I think we will have to have a cake because we don't have that amount in our kitchen, could do it. But it sounds really fun, so I hope it's successful. So that's what our hopes are on that. Okay, is there anyone that would like a motion to enter an executive session?
I would like to make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-21.
I'll second it. Okay, there's been a motion to go into executive session pursuant to SDCL 125-2. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We are in executive session at
6:48.
6:48, is it? Okay, 6:48. Oh, Dave.
But it'd be divided
that was
by
10
3.
years.
How many people are with him?
Dave has it. He looked at it,
Sorry.
called the guy before. It's a 10-year loan. I do know that.
Go back.
Yeah. Okay, we're back in session at
7:04.
7:04. Okay, if there is anything else from anybody?
No motions.
Okay, we just need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 7:05.